Chord is Swedish future pop duo consisting of Samuel Brandt, known as Severo, and Tobias Danielsson, known as The Wonder. They each are extremely talented musicians, and together they have become a production powerhouse with over 1 billion streams. They've produced remixes for Shawn Mendes, Ed Sheeran, Demi Lovato, Sia, Alessia Cara, and Rihanna. With 2 back-to-back hit singles and still producing many more, NLTD doesn't look like they plan to stop anytime soon. Let's take a look into how they produce.
If you could just walk away, yeah, I wouldn't even. Is she the one you've been waiting for? Is she the one? Is she the one you've been dreaming of? Is she the one? I'm tired of staying up all night with you on my mind. Still I'm laying here, yeah, I'm laying in the shirt you used to like. No, I shouldn't mind. All I think about is, does she move your body like I moved your body? 'Cause I wanna know, yeah, I wanna know. Does she make you feel wanted? Is she all you wanted? 'Cause I wanna know, yeah, I wanna know. I want to know. I want to know. Is she all you wanted? 'Cause I wanna know, yeah, I wanna know. Is she the one?
Notice tracks have a very beautiful feeling. A part of this is their use of atmosphere. They use atmospheric samples as a bed that the rest of the track and instruments can sit on. They serve as to both fill up the frequency spectrum and as ear candy. Without them, the track seems empty.
Is she the one you've been waiting for? Is she the one? I'm tired of staying up all night with you on my mind. Still I'm laying here, yeah, I'm laying in the shirt you.
Here are the atmospheric samples I used in I Wanna Know. Also notice how they are dynamically evolving. Another trick they use is indistinguishable automation. Automating your instruments through your track not only serves to create variation, but it keeps things human and prevents your ear from being trained. Notice how the guitar has dips and gradual increases. This is only noticeable once pointed out, but naturally it adds another layer of aesthetic to the track. The next topic is texture consistency. Going above with the previously mentioned points, Noted likes to keep things consistent. They don't go over the top with atmosphere samples, they typically use a handful. This keeps the track from seeming unsettling. Notice how they used atmosphere samples from intro in the drop.
If you could just walk away, yeah.
Notice tracks have catchy and beautiful chords which are typically presented in the intro of their songs. Their chords use a few techniques in order to get their emotional feel. Take a look at how layered these chords are. The basis of their chords are not that complicated, however it is their use of adds and suspensions that create their feel. Nodet uses three common principles when designing their chords. The first is that Nodet likes to keep a consistent note in their chords. This creates a backing voice to the track. It is often the root note of the key. The second principle is additions. To put this simply, they stack half steps in their chords. Independently, this can sound unpleasant, but in a chord, it is pleasing. This is because they use root note of the key layered with the note in the chord. This allows the chord to keep the backing voice which we previously mentioned, while maintaining the notes of the chord. The final principle is suspension. We previously discussed this in our J prior tutorial. We will explain suspension more in depth in an upcoming tutorial, but for now just think of a suspension as having one space or a step in between notes. Moving away from chord progressions, Nodet likes to experiment and use rhythm in their favor. Don't be afraid to use different time signatures, swing, humanization and triplets. In I Wanna Know, Nodet uses triplets as the basis of the track. This gives a fresh feel. Nodet also likes to use rolling basslines. This means that they like to have leading notes into the next chord. Take a look at this bassline. Notice at how at the end of every bar it uses jumps and steps to provide transition to the next bass note. Finally, Nodet likes to use organic sliding and slapping in their basslines. The best way to do this is with a real recorded bass, but there are also many plugins and libraries that can achieve a similar effect. Nodet achieves more with less. Throughout I Wanna Know, they only used one synth-based sound. They also use very basic chord sound design. Their tracks often consist of pianos, mallets and saws. Simple can be better. One thing that makes their chord stand out is compression. Nodet uses it as more of a stylistic choice. Using OTT, this adds a layer of brightness to their chords. For the drop chords, I added an OTT to bring out highs a bit more. Multiband compression can be a very powerful tool if used correctly. Let's design some Nodet style sounds. The first is a stab or pluck saw. These are easy to make. Start out with a saw wave. Shape and automation filter. Adjust your ADSR. Use your automation filter to adjust create the pluck sound. A cool trick is to automate the detune of the sound. This makes the sound wider. Finally, add effects. Noted also uses mallet sounds. To learn more about this, check out our J-Prior video in the top right. Now let's discuss Noded's signature sound. Their vocal chops appear in almost all their tracks and they all have the same formula. Noded uses pitch and format shifting on their vocal chops. They like to use a plugin called Manipulator. This has an alternator knob, which adds the Noded effects. They also like to distort their vocal chops after this. In order to show you some of these techniques, we recreated I Wanna Know in both FL Studio and Ableton. Along with this, we create sample packs for all of our tutorials in the style of the artist. If you want to vastly help out the channel, please consider purchasing these in the description or supporting our socials. All links available in the description. Have you wanted to distribute your music but don't know how? DistroKid is the easiest way for musicians to get music into Spotify, iTunes, TikTok and more. DistroKid offers a pain-free way to get your music on nearly every available distribution platform. And for only $19.99 a year, unlimited songs, check the description for a special link to get 7% off your membership.